The story began far from Earth, in a quiet corner of the galaxy, where a lonely research ship drifted near a nebula that glowed like soft blue smoke. Inside that ship, a human explorer named Leo sat in the command chair, staring at the hologram on his screen. The image showed a large structure hidden behind the drifting clouds of the nebula. It looked like a gigantic flower made of metal, each petal stretching outward for kilometers. It didn't match any known design. It didn't respond to any known signal. It was silent and ancient. For Leo, that was more than enough reason to investigate. Leo wasn't a soldier or a hardened hero. He was an explorer born on a quiet farming world. He loved learning about the unknown. He believed the universe was filled with stories, waiting for someone brave or curious enough to uncover them. He also believed humans had a gift. They adapted faster than most species. They tried new things. Even when afraid, they kept going. That belief always pushed him forward. When Leo guided his ship toward the strange metallic flower, he didn't expect trouble. He expected dusty halls and forgotten machinery. He expected mysteries, not anger. But the moment he stepped inside the first chamber, the structure came alive. Soft violet light flowed through the metal walls like veins waking from a long sleep. A deep hum echoed as if the structure sensed him. Leo spoke calmly into the air, hoping any listening intelligence would hear peace in his voice. He said he was a traveler. He said he meant no harm. He said he only wished to understand what this place was. The structure answered with silence, but not an empty one. It felt like someone was listening closely. As he walked deeper, the corridor shifted behind him. The metal bent and curved, not in a threatening way, but in a responsive way. It was like the structure was making a path for him, adjusting so he wouldn't get lost. It was both unsettling and impressive. Leo reminded himself that new discoveries always came with a bit of fear. Finally, at the heart of the structure, he stepped into a giant chamber that opened like the center of a blooming flower. Crystal pillars reached from the floor to the ceiling. In the middle stood a tall figure with a crown-like shape around her head. Her skin shimmered like liquid silver. She didn't look like a warrior. She looked like royalty. She also looked angry. Before Leo could speak, she raised her voice, echoing across the chamber with a power that made the air shake. She shouted, "Why don't you leave me alone, human?" Leo froze. He had encountered alien intelligence before, but none had spoken universal standards so clearly. He took a careful step back and lifted his hands to show he held no weapon. He said he didn't wish to intrude. He said he only wanted to understand who she was and why this place existed. The queen narrowed her bright eyes. She said she had slept for many centuries. Her people had once ruled many systems, not with force, but with knowledge. They guided young civilizations. They shared wisdom freely. But after countless centuries, they grew tired and built this structure as their final sanctuary. She had been the last one awake, guarding the legacy of her people in silence. She wanted rest, not disturbance. Leo listened with respect. He didn't try to argue. He knew how precious rest could be for someone who carried such heavy history. But he also sensed loneliness in her voice, a deep isolation that came not from irritation, but from centuries spent, without a single voice replying to her thoughts. He told her he would leave if she wished. He told her he would shut down his scanners and erase any coordinates. He told her he would respect her boundary. The queen paused. Her posture softened a little. She asked why he had come alone, so far from home, into unknown danger. Leo said he came because humans always wanted to learn. They grew and they learned. They pushed forward even when uncertain. He said he believed the universe didn't become smaller when it was understood. It became more beautiful. The queen stared at him, her silver features reflecting the glow of the crystal pillars. She said humans were strange. She said most species respected boundaries or feared the unknown. Humans walked straight into it. Leo gave a small smile. He said curiosity was the engine that carried humanity across the stars. The Queen turned her gaze toward the pillars. She explained that each pillar held the memories of her people, their knowledge, their triumphs, their failures, their hopes. She said she protected them because she wished to keep them pure. She feared another species might misuse them. She didn't want her people's legacy to become a weapon. Leo sensed the weight of her worry. He told her humans had made mistakes, yes, but they learned from them. He said that in his travels, he had seen human engineers working with alien inventors to build safer worlds. He had seen human teachers learning alien philosophies to guide young minds. He said the galaxy was better when species shared, not when they hid. The Queen didn't reply. She walked toward one of the pillars and touched it gently. A soft light spread across the surface. She said her people once believed the same thing. They believed knowledge only had meaning when shared. But after so many cycles, after watching civilizations rise and fall, she no longer knew if sharing always brought peace. Leo took a slow breath. He said peace was a choice. A difficult one, but a choice made stronger by understanding. He said that if every culture kept its wisdom locked away, no one would grow. Everyone would repeat the same errors. He said he wasn't asking for the memories. He was only asking her to trust that not all beings seek power. Some seek connection. The Queen looked at him with an expression he couldn't read. Suspicion mixed with curiosity. She asked why she should trust a human she had only met moments ago. Leo didn't try to give a perfect answer. He said trust always began with a risk. He said he was willing to take that risk by standing unarmed in a structure he didn't control. He said he believed she was wise enough to sense honesty. The Queen stepped closer. She lowered her voice. She said she could sense something inside him, a mix of fear, wonder, and sincerity. She said she hadn't sensed a living mind in so long that she had forgotten what such emotions felt like. She admitted his presence stirred memories. She thought she had lost. Leo stood quietly, letting her speak. She told him she once guided young explorers from different worlds. She taught them what her people had learned across thousands of years. She remembered the joy of watching them grow. But time had taken those moments away. The galaxy had changed. Species had changed. She wasn't sure if she still belonged in this era. Leo said belonging wasn't decided by time. It was decided by choice. He said the galaxy still had space for those who wished to help. He said her wisdom could guide not just humans, but many others. He reminded her that rest was important, but so was purpose. For the first time, the Queen looked unsure. She asked him if he thought her people's legacy still mattered. He answered without hesitation. He said knowledge from the past always mattered. It shaped the future. He said the galaxy needed voices like hers, voices that understood cycles no younger species could comprehend. The room fell silent. The humming of the structure slowed, as if it too waited for her decision. The Queen walked to the center of the chamber and placed both hands on a crystal panel. A low tone filled the space. She turned to Leo and said she would allow him to see one memory. Only one. She would judge his intentions based on his reaction. Leo nodded gratefully. A beam of soft light enveloped him. He saw a vast world glowing under twin suns. He saw her people moving with grace, creating knowledge with harmony and care. He saw them teaching young species with patience. He saw stars being mapped, energy being shaped with precision, cities floating in the skies. There was no war in the memory, only unity. A civilization that reached greatness through understanding, not force. When the memory ended, Leo felt a warmth in his chest. He told the Queen it was beautiful. He said he wished humanity could learn from that example. He said such a vision could inspire countless worlds. The Queen searched his face. After a long moment, she believed him. Her posture softened again. She said she would not share all their memories yet, but she would allow Leo to return. She wanted to observe humans through him, learn how they had grown, and decide in time if the galaxy was ready for more. Leo agreed. He said he would return with respect. He said he would bring no weapons, no soldiers, and no claims. Only questions and conversation. Before he left, the Queen spoke again. Her voice no longer carried anger. She said she wasn't shouting at him because he did something wrong. She shouted because she wasn't prepared to face the future after so long. She said his arrival forced her to awaken before she was ready. But now that she had awakened, she couldn't go back to silence. Leo gave her a gentle nod. He said sometimes being unprepared was the first step to change. He said he believed she had more strength than she realized. As he walked back through the corridors, they shifted behind him again, but this time with a softer rhythm. The structure wasn't pushing him away. It was guiding him out like a host seeing off a guest. When Leo returned to his ship and lifted off, he looked back at the metallic flower glowing faintly within the nebula. He felt a mixture of excitement and responsibility. He knew he had made a promise. He also knew he had started a bridge between two very different worlds. The Queen watched his ship from the heart chamber. She lifted her hand as if touching the air where he had stood. She whispered softly, wondering if humanity